Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This shir is entitled Hesped. So Rav Malinowitz, Zecher Tzaddik Levracha, in memory of Rav Malinowitz on his Shloshim. So the community, Klal Yisrael, was struck with an unbelievable loss almost a month ago with the sudden passing of Rav Malinowitz, Zecher Tzaddik Levracha. I was zocher to say a few words about him a month ago, put it out in the video. Many people came over to me, Yesh Koch, and helped them out, inspired them, and hit certain parts of Rav Malinowitz that meant a lot to them. And one person said to me, I know why you love Rav Malinowitz so much. I said, why? Because you were like him. I said, really? What does that mean? He said, yeah, you also do your own thing, Daddy Myers, Rabbi Myers. Haredi world, but crazy Tzioni, and look at this, Medina is the greatest bracha in 2,000 years. You're active in Har Bayis, and you have pictures of all the Gedolim up in your shul and up in the school in Dachei Noam, and you also are like that, and you're similar to Rav Malinowitz. So I take that as a tremendous compliment. Of course, similar is not a great term. Rav Malinowitz is a giant in Torah, Shas, Rishonim, Poskim. Read Rabbi Dr. Katz's article and connections where all of Shas and all of Shulchan Aruch. I'm a very small Ben Torah. But I certainly take that as a great compliment to say that I have a certain similar approach to Rav Malinowitz. I take that as a tremendous praise and shevach, even though I don't earn that. So I want to add a few more things about Rav Malinowitz that we didn't get to speak about a few weeks back. It's certain things that I learned since then. A few people sent me a picture of myself and Rav Malinowitz 15 years ago in Gush Katif at one of the Hafganot before the disaster occurred. And once again, I was reminded of the fact that he just studied, learned a sugya, and he just embraced it. Popular, not popular, that just wasn't part of his lexicon. Popular, it's just not part of his lexicon. MS, Aleph, Mem, Tuf. That's it. For him, giving back, giving up this very special piece of real estate. It's a disaster on every level. The Haredi world approach wasn't to go ahead and have hafganot. If anything, they said it could be fine, it would be part of the government. But for him, okay, the Haredi world was fine with it. He wasn't. Not all Haredi world was fine, but certainly they were not in the hafganot, in the demonstrations like the Dati Leumi world. That's a fact. And for him, it didn't matter which world was where. This was a disaster in the making. We have to be there. We have to fight it. Amazing. Once again, continuing with what I said weeks ago about him. Just MS. Then, I remember at a Fabregan, Yotes Kislev, Rafaro, from our community, from the Chabad community here. He should live and be well. He should feel good. So he was hosting it. It's a special day in the world of Chabad Hasidus. And who's the speaker? Of course, obviously Rav Malinowitz, a well-known Lubavitch, a Chassid. Not. Why is he the keynote speaker? Once again, he has a kesher with Chabad Hasidus, the Chabad Rebbe that he had, and he had a Karsatov, and you start hearing the story about him. And he had Rav Farah give shiurim in his shul. Wait a second. We all know Rav Shach, Zecher, Tzaddik, Levracha. We all know he was a man who also was very strong in his opinions, and he made it clear. He made it clear that he doesn't hold by Lubavitcher Rebbe. It was obvious 30, 40 years ago. And the yeshivish world naturally follows Rav Shach. I understand that. So then stay away from Chabad and Lubavitch if that's the Das Torah of Rav Shach. Rav Malinowitz, he was a big enough Talmid Chacham to go ahead and forge forward, looking into new topics, areas, and ready to take a stand. And that's it. Another example, Gavra Rabbah. And that was Rav Malinowitz straight through. The more we read the articles people are writing about him, Rasha Resnick writes about he was such a complex individual. You couldn't put him in a box. And that's certainly true. Couldn't put him in a box. What about Shemitah? Shemitah, it's well known in the yeshivish world that Heter Mechira is out. And if you buy from the Goyim, from Arabs, whoever it is, because Heter Mechira, you cannot rely on that at all, and that's it. There's nothing in the middle. It's just two separate worlds. The yeshivish world is with the going to buy from the Goyim, and more the Tilamiyah. So we're going to buy from our enemies. Yeah, work on Heter Mechira. Let's see what we could work on. Here's another option. What can we do? And he was working with more Datilumi organizations to see if maybe Heter Mechira certainly is more root to rely on this part of the country because it's a suffix to begin with. If it's part of Eretz Yisrael regarding Shemitah, and he's just thinking out of the box once again because he's thinking about halacha, obviously. He's thinking about Eretz Yisrael, thinking about Klal Yisrael, thinking about politically our enemies. We're going to support our enemies? No. What do you mean? But the Gedolim, the Yeshivish world, that's the setup they have. That's not fine for Malinowitz. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And one of the most controversial people in our recent history of Meir Kahana, where when he quoted him for the first time in Beis Tefillah years ago, and so I looked at him, wow, Kahana. He said, you got to read all the books. And then one of the elections, he said, yeah, I vote for Baruch Marzel, the Talmud of Rav Kahana. That's not typical Das Torah. But guess what? It is Das Torah. Das Torah from Rav Malinowitz, who was a Gavra Rabbah, and he had the shoulders, the determination, the chachma, the wisdom, the insight, the foresight to go ahead, go through a sugya, and see this is what's right. For my kehillah, this is what I paskin, this is what I say should be done, and that's it. What are people going to say about me? That's it. Some people might leave my shul. No, it's not a popularity contest. It is MS. So that was Rav Malinowitz from the beginning to the end. And each MS, conviction to truth, to what is right, what is proper. I didn't even touch upon the chesed and his availability. Just read all the articles about him, how everyone felt that he was the most important person in Rav Malinowitz's life. In each organization, the art school organization, all the people there, like Rav Malinowitz's was totally with us. Beis Tefillah, he was totally with us. I called him up for Shilas also. He was with me every time I called. Sent an email out. So that's the chesed area, which I just touched for a moment. But he was really big, really large. And the biggest mitzvah that we could do was just embrace as much, how much of our most can we embrace, I don't know, but as much as we can embrace the Ish Emes, the Ish Chesed, the Ohev Yisrael, Klal Yisrael of Eretz Yisrael. Shalom. May we should always be for blessing, inspiration, and the family should have Nechama.